Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be sharing with you, and partly deciding with you, my winter TBR. I've recently switched to doing seasonal TBRs, which for me just allow me some more flexibility and allow me to kind of mood read and just create some space for me to not feel stressed about a monthly TBR. And so far I've been really liking the format of doing this. So for the winter, we are going to make a few changes. First of all, we're bringing back the TBR jar that I made ages ago, and I have updated it, so now it is up to date with all of my owned TBR books. So this is everything that I physically own that has not been read yet, basically. With a few exceptions, I do have some reread ideas in here as well, but we'll talk about that if I end up pulling any of them, and I'll explain why they're in there. So how I'm going to be formatting my TBRs from here on out, hopefully, if I end up liking it, is I am going to pick 10 books. So I'm allowed to pick 10 physical books for that season, and then 5 of them will be picked from the TBR jar. And so the idea is to only put 15 books on the seasonal TBR, because that's probably as much as I could get through in a season if everything's going really well. And even if that, it's probably going to be less. I'll probably get to like 10 to 12 of these books if everything goes pretty well and I have some time to read in my life. The fall went terribly for reading for me, and I read barely anything. I was like one book a month, maybe 2. And so I've recently just had more of an excitement about reading, and I'm a little bit more motivated right now to be picking up books and actually getting through my physical TBR. So I'm hoping that 15 is going to be a good number. Maybe we'll adjust that number, but that's what I'm trying. So we'll see how I like it. So we'll just put this down for right now, and we'll get to that later. But let's talk about the things, first of all, that I'm currently reading, and so will definitely get finished in the winter. The first book that I'm currently in the middle of is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I had a goal to read all 6 of Jane Austen's main novels through 2021, and I've almost met that goal. If I finish Persuasion in December, I will have met that goal. I still have maybe 9 days left or so. We'll see if I can do it, but hopefully I can, and then I will have officially read all of the Jane Austen 6 novels. I'm not like terribly far along in it. I'm like 50 pages in, so just still getting the setup of the story. But yes, Persuasion is one that I will be finishing this winter. I had also started to read Anthem by Neil Stevenson. This is a buddy read over on Michael Knipp's Discord, and I'm not very far through this yet, but it is a very intriguing book. It is a bit of, what do they call this? There's like a characteristic, there's like a genre that they call this that I've seen. What is it? It's kind of sci-fi, but speculative fiction. So I haven't actually looked up what speculative fiction means yet, but this is a lot of like math and science concepts interwoven into this story about a monk in a monastery. So yes, a very interesting read, and I'm hoping to actually read some more of this today and make a little bit more of a dent. But it's quite a hefty book. My mass market paperback is about 950 pages, so I don't expect to finish this in the month of December, but I will hopefully at least finish this by the end of winter. A little bit of a lighter read, I started The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, and Maggie Knox is actually 2 authors, fun fact. It is, what are their names? Karma Brown and Marissa Stapley. So it's actually an author duo. This was my December book of the month pick. I'm trying to actually be on top of my book of the month choices and actually read them as they come in, and then hopefully get to my backlist sometime in 2022. So I'm reading this one. It is perfectly themed for Christmas, so I'm planning on hunkering down these next few days and finishing it and so far so good. It's about two twins who swap places, and it's basically like Parent Trap for adults. They're grown in their like 20s, 30s, I think, and they decide to swap places for the Christmas season. So far it's been a fun read. And then the last book that I started, I don't know why I started so many books at once, but another book that I am in the middle of is The Last Heir by Summer Sullivan. This is an independently published book that the author kindly sent to me for review. So I am in the middle of it. The poor thing has been waiting forever. She sent this to me a long time ago, and I am reading it, and I'm enjoying it so far. So I am working my way through this. Do plan on finishing this soon and putting up a review video for it as well. This is a young adult fantasy novel, and it is the first in a series. I'm not sure how many books she intends, but it is the first one in her series. So those are all the books that I am currently in the middle of. In January, I have a few plans laid out. One of those plans is to read Atonement by Ian McEwan, and this is for Danny from Spinelli Speaks and Laura from Book Bubbler. They are starting a book club, and this is their first pick, I believe. And I voted for this one. They put up a poll, and we voted on it. And Atonement was picked. I've had this book on my shelf for a really long time, so I was excited that it got picked. I would like to get through my physical TBR a lot faster than I have currently been doing. So Atonement is one of those books I've just been hanging on to. So excited to read this. I have watched the movie, so I am familiar with the story and the premise, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I've heard good things. And then next up, I have Flannery O January. I'm co-hosting a Flannery O'Connor read-along along with Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse and Christy from Dostoevsky in Space. And so the three of us are planning a bit of a Flannery O'Connor adventure. You are welcome to join if you are so inclined, and each one of us has picked a challenge. Noah's challenge is to read The Violent Bear It Away, which is Flannery O'Connor's last novel that she wrote. Well, second and last. She only wrote two. And yeah, I've never read a Flannery O'Connor novel, so I do intend to do this with the group and follow along, so excited for this. And then my challenge that I picked for the read-along is to read the collection, the short story collection, A Good Man Is Hard to Find. And so I went ahead and I just bought this complete version of short stories, but I don't plan on reading all of these short stories, just the ones that are included in A Good Man Is Hard to Find. So I'll be jumping around a little bit in this one. You are welcome to jump around with me and try a few of her short stories. This is how I was first introduced to Flannery O'Connor and how I fell in love with her. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be revisiting some of her short stories, and then we'll hopefully discover some new favorites as well. And then Christy's challenge is to read some of the letters of Flannery O'Connor in The Habit of Being. And so these were letters that were edited and selected by her friend Sally Fitzgerald. And the more I've read about the letters, the more interested I am in picking these up. So again, not sure how much I will get through of this, but I do want to dive in a little bit and at least read some of this in the month of January. A couple other of more general winter reading goals. I would like to reread Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I read it when it first came out, and now I have Cytonic, but I really don't remember like barely anything that happened in Starsight. I remember more of Skyward, but for some reason the second book, Starsight, I don't remember at all. Like only a little bit. So I'm gonna start a reread of Skyward and then get into Starsight so that I can get to Cytonic. I don't really want to just read a summary. I want to just like be back in the world. So I decided to carve out the time to actually do a reread of this so that I can get to Cytonic. And I've heard mixed things about Cytonic. I'm a little bit nervous. I've heard some people not like it as much, so we'll see. Another ongoing goal is to actually continue with my Harry Potter series reread. I am supposed to be on book 3. I read the first 2 and then just dropped dropped my reread a while back and I want to get back into it. So I have this beautiful illustrated edition. There's no reason why I shouldn't just sit down and get cozy and read this. So hopefully that'll happen sometime in winter. And then the last book that I have picked that is not out of my TBR jar is Shade by, oh crap, what's his name? I'm completely blanking on the name of the author right now, and I'm so sorry, because I have read his previous book, Nightmare, and I don't know why I can't remember his name right now, but I'll put a picture right here. I'm excited for this. He was kind enough to send me a review copy, and I need to get to it. I meant to get to this back in October, and yes, that didn't happen. So we will get to this in winter. I need a good like horror thriller on this list, and Shade will fit the bill very well. This is a serial killer thriller, which that just rhymed, haha. But I love me a good serial thriller story, so excited about this. I'm a big Dexter fan, so anything that like gives me Dexter vibes, I'm down for. Okay, I think that is everything that I have picked on this TBR. Now it is time to pick 5 books from our jar. So let's see what fate has in store for us. I'm kind of scared. Oh, okay. Unexpected. I honestly kind of forgot that I had this book. Let me go find it. This is good. This is a nonfiction book, and I don't really have any nonfiction going right now, at least other than the Flannery O'Connor letters. So this is The Road to Character by David Brooks. I pulled this out of a little free library. This was part of my little free library video adventure that I did a while back, and it's about deeper values that should inform our lives, and I guess kind of about character and how we build character, what's at the core of our character, and I think is it from a religious perspective? I think it might be from a Catholic author. I'm not sure. Obviously, I know very little, so that could be not true. But this was picked, which is good because I probably would not have picked it up on my own, to be honest. So I needed a little push to get to this one. So woohoo, some nonfiction. All right, diving back into the jar. Oh, also one that I wouldn't have gotten to very soon, but have not lost interest in. So the next book that I picked is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I think this is actually maybe the first in a series by Douglas Adams, and apparently it is also a Netflix series according to that sticker. So this, I think, is a quirky detective sci-fi novel written by the same person who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I have not read, but I do own. But yeah, we'll start with this. So this is a Dirk Gently novel, and I think it's a series. The back says, what do a dead cat, an electric monk who believes the world is pink, quantum mechanics, a chronologist over 200 years old, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and pizza have in common? Apparently not much, until Dirk Gently, self-styled private investigator, sets out to prove the fundamental interconnectedness of all things by solving a mysterious murder, assisting a mysterious professor, unraveling a mysterious mystery, and eating lots of pizza. So it sounds very kind of tongue-in-cheek and silly, and yeah, I haven't really heard anyone, like I don't know anyone who has actually read this, so if you have, let me know if this is good. But it's going on the winter TBR. So far, some very eclectic picks from the jar. So that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to infuse a little bit of randomness into our TBR. All right, let's see what's up next. Try not to look. Oh, great. I had wanted to read this in 2021, and it didn't happen. So I'm glad it was picked. This is Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. I believe this is also a series, and my copy happens to be signed by the author. I got it at a used bookstore and got super lucky to find a signed copy. I don't really own any other signed copies. This might be my only one. Maybe, actually no, I have at least one other. My copy of Scythe by Neil Schusterman is signed. But yes, I got lucky. This one is signed, and I got it for like I don't know, $4 or something. So Goose Girl, this is a middle grade, and I've heard really, really good things. Wanted to read this for middle grade March, but it didn't end up happening last year. So putting this on the TBR. I'm excited about this one. All right, 2 more books to go. Oh, thank goodness, a book of the month book. This will help me get through my book of the month picks. So the one that I pulled is, oh, here it is. The Perishing by Natasha Dion. This really grabbed my attention when I read the synopsis, so I added it to my box. This was one of those book of the month months where I just added like way too many books to my box, like 3. And this is a historical fiction, kind of with some like fantastical elements to it. So I think this is about a Black woman in the 1930s in Los Angeles who is kind of just dropped into life, and she doesn't know where she came from. I don't know much about this book, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about it yet, so I'm really glad this was picked. All right, last TBR jar pick. Let's see what the jar has in store. Oh no, are you serious? No. This will have to carry over because I doubt I'll be able to finish this in winter, but let me just go get it. It is The Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. And actually, I was watching David Wiley's video today, one of his videos about his plans for 2022, and I know that The Canterbury Tales he's planning on getting to later in the year. So I don't know, maybe I'll push it back. Maybe maybe I'll start it in the winter. I don't know. This is a book that intimidates me very much. Canterbury Tales. I'm intimidated by this. But maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why I'm intimidated by it. This will take some work. So maybe. I'm already going to break my own rule and push this maybe back to a later season. But maybe not. Maybe I will start to work through this a little bit. We'll see. And that'll be it for my winter TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're excited to see me read any of them in particular, and let me know some things that you're planning on reading in this winter season. All of my other social media links are down below, including my Discord if you want to go hop over there and check out what we have going on. We'll have some Flannery O'Connor discussion in the Discord currently starting in January, so if you would like to join our Flannery O'Connor read-along, I'll put some info down below. And if you just want to chat with me, you can see my Instagram and Discord and other places down below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading great books, and until next time, bye-bye.